Hi, I'm Tony, and I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to get started with ChromaDrop. Now, ChromaDrop helps you create and maintain a master folder of all your images using a time-based organizational structure. If you're like me, you might have some of your photos in iCloud, or Google Photos, or Amazon, or Dropbox, but your master folder is like your original copy. It's the one place where you know all of your photos are, and it's the one folder that you can pick up and drop to a backup drive quickly and easily. Setting up and maintaining a master folder is one of the keys to making sure that you and your family can enjoy your photos for generations to come. Let's see how this works. Before we get started, let's set a few of the settings that will control how ChromaDrop works with your photos. We get to the settings panel by clicking onto this gear icon. Now, the first choice that we have to make is whether ChromaDrop works with copies or moves the images from their current location to the master folder. Now, usually you want to use the move function so that you can move your images to the right place and then not have to worry about duplicates. That said, there are some uses for the copy function. First, it gives you the ability to trial what's going to happen during the organizational process without fully committing to the movement of your photos. If it works as expected, you can simply delete the contents of your master folder, flip this switch to move, and then run it again. Now, in most cases, you're going to want to use the move function as the regular setting, but remember, once you run it, there is no undo for the files that have been moved. Okay, next is how we handle the file names. You have your choice between keeping the original file name or renaming it based on the day the photo was taken, if that photo has the right metadata embedded into it. Now, I prefer to rename my photos based on the date for a couple of reasons. First, it replaces that strange default name that gets issued by most cameras with something that is actually relevant to the photo. Second, I never name my photos' file names based on a description of its content. Why? Well, it may seem counterintuitive to say this, but a photo never knows its name. Sounds strange, right? Well, the truth is that file names actually get stored in a desktop database that's separate from the file and not in the file itself. If my drive gets corrupted somehow, I can probably recover those files, but often the file names get lost. This is why I prefer to include information about the date or the location or the people in the photos directly into the photo metadata of the image. This makes the photo searchable not only on my computer, but also wherever standard photo metadata can be read. ChromaDrop can work with 3 types of images that support EXIF and IPTC photo metadata, including digital negatives, JPEG files, and TIFF files. If you want to exclude certain file types from being organized, simply uncheck this on the list and ChromaDrop will ignore them. Next, ChromaDrop supports 2 different types of photo tree styles. The first is just simply the year followed by the month. The extended style adds a numeric number to the position of each month. Now, this is particularly useful if you want to sort each year's folders by the name and then see them appear in chronological order. Finally, ChromaDrop includes a menu bar application that you can use to keep your new photos organized as you acquire them. You can turn on this functionality using this setting and then record a keystroke that you want to use to call up the menu bar app. Once you're done getting your settings in order, simply tap onto this close box and your preferences will be recorded. Now that we have the settings out of the way, we need to define a master folder, which is where all of my images are going to be organized into. This can be a blank folder that you create or an existing folder. You can either drag and drop a folder here or use this plus icon to create a new one. I'm going to create a new folder so that you can see how the organization works with a few images. So now that my master folder has been defined, I can drop images or folders full of images into this drop zone to process them. This folder has a mix of JPEGs and RAW photos, as well as some images that I downloaded from the internet. As I drop it onto ChromaDrop, you'll notice that the move is actually very quick, and it gives me this little report to show me how many images it's moved. In my master folder, you'll see that the directory structure was created and each photo was renamed. There's also some images that didn't have any internal date, so they were moved to this undated folder, and you will notice that they still have their original file names. I can use the ChromaTag integration to add these dates, and then they'll automatically get moved to the right place. More on that later. So that's really all there is to it. Once I've done this to my main folder, I can keep new images organized using the menu bar application. Let's see how this works. You might remember that when I was working with the settings panel, I turned on the menu bar version of ChromaDrop and gave it a keyboard setting of Command-Option-Q. To use menu bar mode, I just closed down this main interface and let it run in the background. When I have images to process, I just use the keyboard command to bring up the menu bar version of ChromaDrop, and then I can just drag and drop to process these new images. That's it. I can use my menu bar command again to hide the app, or simply tap on this menu icon to make it go back into the background. If the photos that are processed by ChromaTag do not have an embedded photo metadata date, they will be moved or copied to the undated folder on the root level of your master folder, and they will keep their original file name. Our companion product, ChromaTag, has a special integration with your master folder that will allow you to add the correct dates to these images, and then they'll get moved to their proper place in the tree hierarchy. Let's see how this works. So right when I open ChromaTag, you'll notice here in the folder bar that I have some folder locations of these images that I can tag. This one in blue is my master folder that I defined in ChromaDrop, and it has some special capabilities. First, when I drill down into the folder structure, I see my undated folder right here at the top, and this lets me tag the photos that lack the special metadata date that lets other programs know when these photos were taken. Let's date a couple just to see how this works. So here are some classic photos of the old San Jose International Airport. I'm guessing these photos were taken in 1962, so I'm going to enter that date here, and then I'm going to geotag it to the right location just for good measure. Once I save these tags to file, ChromaTag adds the date and the metadata location and then moves these files to the right place in the tree. So here they are, right in the summer of 1962 where they belong. Now, this special integration with the master folder doesn't work just for the undated folder. It also works on any other images in my master folder. So if I later find out that I need to adjust the date on one of my other images, I can edit it here in ChromaTag, and that photo then gets moved automatically to the correct location. Now that we're here, I should mention that we have a setting in ChromaTag that controls this behavior. So if you want to turn off the movement of images in the master folder when you change the date, you can turn it off or pause it with this setting. Okay, so that's a quick overview of how ChromaDrop works. If you have any questions about using our product, please reach out to us and we'll get back to you within one business day. And have fun with your photos.